Year 3, welcome to your maths video for Monday the 11th of January. Now this is a video for you if you've got the Year 3 maths booklet. So today in our maths booklets we're going to be completing page 1, which says exercise 1 at the top. Now these maths booklets are a little bit different to the ones we've used before. They are broken into 3 different sections. So you're going to be expected to do the whole page today. So whole page of exercise 1. So if we have a look at the top, you've got section A, which is called the startup. This is warming us up to get ready for our main challenges. So once you've completed the startup, you're going to move on to the B into gear section, so your main learning. And then there's a tough challenge for you right at the bottom. Okay, so let's have a little look at some of your questions for today. So on your startup section at the top of your page, you have got some questions like this. We've got additions and subtractions. Now we know when we're adding, the number's going to get bigger, and when we're subtracting, it's going to get smaller. So you need to make sure you're paying attention to whether it's add or subtract, because it will keep changing. Now, we've always started with a 3-digit number, or we might have them swapped over for some questions. But you're either going to be adding a 1-digit number or subtracting a 1-digit number, adding a multiple of 10 or subtracting a multiple of 10, or subtracting a multiple of 100 or adding a multiple of 100, okay? So we're going to be focusing on our place value for this startup challenge. So if we have a look at my first question, 234 add 3, okay? So for this question, we're going to be focusing on the ones column, because I can see it's just going to be the ones that change. So I'm going to find the ones in my number, and that's the only column in that number that's going to change. So 4 ones add 3 ones. Now I know that's 7 ones, so my hundreds are going to remain the same, so are my tens, and now I've got 7 ones, okay? Now this question, we've changed to a subtraction now, so I know for subtraction the number's going to get smaller, so make sure we're looking closely at which operation we're doing in this challenge. Now this time I'm subtracting a multiple of 100, okay? I've got no tens and no ones, so I'm going to find and locate my hundreds, and that's going to be the place value column that changes. So I've started with 800, I'm going to subtract 200 from it. So 800 in my head, 800, 700, 600, okay? So I'm left with 600, but hang on, I haven't subtracted any tens or ones, so they're going to remain the same. So I've got 600, I've still got 5 tens, and I've still got 2 ones, okay? Moving on to this question then, we've gone back to an addition here, and this time we're adding a multiple of 10. I've got no ones to add and no hundreds, so I'm going to focus on the tens column. So in your books, if you wanted to, you could underline the place value column that needs to be changed so you don't forget. So I'm adding 5 tens to my 3 tens, and I know that 3 tens add 5 tens is 8 tens. So I'm going to still have 400. I've now got 8 tens, because I've added 3 tens and 5 tens, and I've got 8 ones still left over, okay? So these questions are very similar to the startup challenge you've got at the very top of your book. So moving on then to the next section on that first page, it's called into gear, okay? Now these questions are a little bit trickier, and you'll notice that some of them have words in, numerals, and some of them have words, and some of them have numerals. So when we look at the first question, 25 add 4. They've put it in words to try and trick us a little bit, but what we can do is we can write out that question in our books so we don't get confused. So 25 add 4, okay? So same again, I'm focusing on the ones, a bit similar to my startup challenge, and I know that 5 ones add 4 ones is 9 ones. So I've got 29 now, okay? So you'd write your answer in your book. Another question that you've got that's similar to this one in your into gear section, 3 groups of 3, okay? Now this is a times table question. And when we do our times tables, we're doing groups of or lots of. So it wants 3 groups of 3. Now, if you wanted to draw this in your book, I'd have my 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and in each group, I'd have 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 groups of 3 in each group. So if we know our times tables, we will know that 3 times 3 is 9. So the answer would be 9, but we could check it by doing this, and I've got 9 dots all together. So 3 groups of 3 equals 9. Okay. Now the next question, it's put this question in words again, and you've got a very similar one in your book. Take 5 and 12 from 20. So we've got words there and numerals. So I'm just going to make some notes to help me work that out. Now take 5 and 12, take there, it's asking us to take away, and we know that means subtract. So we're going to be doing a subtraction. Our number is going to end up getting smaller. So I'm going to break it down into parts. I've got take 5 and then 12 from 20. So I'm going to start with 20 because we know we start with the biggest number for our subtraction. I'm going to first of all take 5 away. And some of us might know that straight away that's going to be 15. Okay. And then, once I've done that one, it also wanted me to take 12 away as well. So I'm going to use my answer 15. And I'm then going to subtract 12 from 15. Okay? So make sure you're doing lots of working out in your book and keeping track of your calculations. Right, moving on then to the last section on your page for today, you've got a tough challenge. Now with these tough challenge questions, you need to make sure you're reading them properly. You might underline any key numbers or keywords to help you work them out. So let's have a look at this first one. Tom has 15 pence. Okay, so I'm just going to write 15 pence there. They just wrote it in words. Hannah has 3p, or 3 pennies, and Emma has 1 penny. So Emma's got 1 pence. What is the total amount? Now there's one key word in that word problem that tells me if I'm adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing. Ooh, can you see it? There's one word there that tells me which operation I'm going to do. Oh, if you said total, well done. So we want the total of everything, we're putting it all together, that means we're adding. So the question's asking you to do 15 pence, add Hannah's 3 pence, add Emma's 1 pence, okay? So this is again something you could be writing in your book to keep track of your calculations, okay? Let's have a look at another similar question you've got. So we've got here half of £60. Now in your books they may have wrote the fraction half like this, okay? Now when we know we're halving, it means we're splitting it into 2 equal groups, and our denominator tells us that. So it's asking me to split £60 into 2 equal groups, or half 60. Now we know that half of 60 is 30. So if I double 30, I will get 60. So £30. Okay. So if you complete all of that and you would like an extra challenge, right at the back of your book, so you're doing exercise 1 today, if you turn right to the back, and it will be on page 29, you've got some time yourself tests. So for today, if you wanted another challenge, you could try and have a go at test 1. And if you've got a phone at home or a watch, a stopwatch or a tablet with a timer on, you can time yourself and see how quickly you can complete these questions, and then you can send them into our Year 3 email account because we'd love to see all of your work. So good luck Year 3, make sure you're sending in lots of super pictures of your work, and I'll see you tomorrow.